This is the call of the surprise microphone. AITA, I told my mother-in-law, that's all on her. That's all on you, mother-in-law. My 5-year-old son's birthday is coming up, and he wants a chocolate cake with chocolate icing. A boy who knows what he wants. That boy is me. Was this me? Am I a boy? It's his birthday, so I said yes. My mother-in-law could be a selfish cow sometimes. And my son was telling her how he's getting chocolate cake and chocolate ice cream. My mother-in-law said she didn't like that. And so we should get something that we all like. So because mother-in-law does not like chocolate cake, she's suggesting to a 5-year-old that he should get something that everybody could enjoy. Hey, guess what, mother-in-law? Bring a cupcake. Let this 5-year-old boy enjoy their birthday and getting something that they want while they're a child, so that way the harsh reality of life after childhood doesn't blunt his spirit. Let the boy have chocolate. I am the boy. My son said, it's not your birthday, so you don't get a say. This would normally be disrespectful, but recently I said this to my son when he went to his friend's party. When my son didn't like the cake flavor, we had a discussion about how the birthday person gets to choose their cake flavor because it's their special day. That's sure. Okay. Sure. My mother-in-law was shocked, and I told her the same thing I told my son. When it's your birthday, you can get whatever flavor of cake you want. My mother-in-law called me a B-word. Yo, where's your husband or wife? Where is the kid of your mother-in-law? Where are they? I would never in a million years. Are you going to let your mom call your spouse that? That's crazy. My mother-in-law called me a bitch. And my son a spoiled brat. So I told her, with that attitude, you won't be coming to the party. My husband was like, what the F? And tried to talk me into ordering his mom a cake she would enjoy after her son and I was rude to her. What? So your husband wanted you to get a special cake for his mom? Hey, husband, step in! Don't let your mom call your spouse the B word, especially in front of your kid. I hope to God that was not in front of your kid. And calling your son a spoiled brat? Step in. I hate to say, phrases like man up or whatever, but in this situation, hello? Come on. You got to man up. You know what? If we're going to use that phrase at all, this is when. Protect your family, your immediate family from your mom. Because that's crazy. Oh my God. I said no, it isn't her day, and that just teaches our son to act entitled at other people's parties if we don't stick to the rules and etiquette that we explain to him. And it will just make him confused, entitled, and spoiled. Totally. 1,000%. My husband saw the truth in that because our son was excited about his birthday cake for his birthday and now understands that not everything is about him. Other people get to enjoy their special event how they want to. In return, my son gets to enjoy his special event and occasions how he wants to. Think about this for a second. What if mother-in-law was diabetic? Should the son not have cake at all? Worse, even worse. Should the son have sugar-free cake because mother-in-law is diabetic? Should the 5-year-old boy have to suffer through aspartame and stevia? Because actually, I don't know how to cook. So I just know aspartame is an ingredient in Diet Coke. But should the son have to suffer through stevia, through fake sugar with that weird aftertaste, that weird tart, almost that weird poisony aftertaste on the back of your tongue? Should he have to suffer through that just because mother-in-law's diabetic? No. My mother-in-law didn't seem to get that and wants my son to write her a sorry note about what he did wrong. My husband and I don't feel like my son did anything wrong by repeating what his parents told him. You would be correct. My mother-in-law said she's not coming to the birthday party or getting him a gift without the apology note. I told my mother-in-law, that's all on her. That's correct. Mom, I gotta learn a lesson. This is stupid. This is silly. This is very silly. You're too old to be acting like that, dude. I got a strong feeling about this. Oh, God, this is crazy, huh? 2 mics. Tip to tip. FAFO. Okay? FAFO. Around and find out. It's a birthday. He's 5. If the kid was being really rude and disrespectful, be like, that's stupid, grandma, because blah, blah, blah. Or like, giving grandma the middle finger. Yeah, dude, apology note for sure. But if you are so worried about this 5-year-old's birthday that you want to change the flavor of the cake because you don't like chocolate on chocolate, if you're trying to stifle a boy's dream of chocolate on chocolate and chocolate ice cream, you know what, though? We should probably have a vanilla. But guess what, Mom? Guess what, mother-in-law? Bring it! $4 for a little thing of vanilla ice cream. A cupcake. Bring a cupcake for yourself, weirdo. Have a sweet treat in the car. Go to the car and eat your cupcake of shame. lady, not the asshole, but why is your husband not sticking up for you and your son? Yes! He's equally guilty here for that. And then Op replied, they said, my husband didn't know the backstory of why my son said that. He wasn't at his friend's party a few months ago when I took my son aside and talked to him about hating the cake flavor. Sure, but why is mom calling you the B word and calling your son a spoiled brat? All you gotta say, and I know this is easier said than done, but if you hear this happening, you'll be like, hey, Ma, you gotta be careful about how you talk about my wife and kid. You can privately address your concerns with me, but you will not talk to my wife that way, and you won't talk to my son that way. That's your choice. That's on you. NTA, mother-in-law is acting like a 5-year-old, and your 5-year-old is acting like a grown-up. Kudos, Mom, for letting your son have the final say on his day. Bro, 5-year-old. Treating him like a senator. The cake must be good for all. Chill out. Bring a freaking Oreo, dude. Put it in some peanut butter, dude. Put it in your, pop it in your mouth and squirt some freaking Hershey's chocolate syrup in there. I'm shocked. I can't believe an adult would give a flying frick about what cake her grandson has at his birthday party. She could buy a cake every single day of her life if she wants to. This is a big 1 day a year treat for a 5-year-old child. I just can't. Well, go Ninja Pro. You must. Not the asshole. Your mother-in-law's behavior is so entitled and rude that she got called on it by a 5-year-old. That should sting, but it should be a wake-up call that she's incredibly out of pocket. It's not spoiled at all to want to have your birthday cake be in your favorite flavor, but it is incredibly spoiled and selfish to tell someone else to change their birthday cake flavor to suit you. You know what I like? I'm realizing I like me a cookie cake. The thing is, though, I just can't do sugar. Sugar makes me incredibly bathroom oriented for a while. It just sends me straight to the bathroom. I don't know if it's like something in my microbiome or something that just, it takes sugar in and I just run to the bath. I don't know what it is. I don't even know if it's dairy. It's just a lot of sugar makes me very ill. Any doctors in the chat? Next story. AITA for telling my husband he's too broke to be so sexist. So my husband comes from a traditional family. Mother was a stay-at-home mom. Father was sole provider. I come from the opposite. My mother pretty much forbade from ever being financially dependent on a man and drilled that into me early on. She said, you will be independent. You will never lean on a boy for a check. My husband worked hard to unlearn the values he saw replicated at home. He often more than pulled his weight at home, was an engaged and present father and a genuine partner. The one thing that grinds my gears is how much weight he puts on the opinions of his family. I get that we all want our parents to be proud of us, but this is too much. My in-laws are staying with us for 2 weeks. That is a long time to have your in-laws with you, especially if you're trying to, not have the same value systems. Long time, homie. You're telling me you have different value systems. My in-laws are staying with us for 2 weeks. Our usual main operative is I prep breakfast. I forget what MO. Main operative? Modus operandi, I think. Our usual MO is I prep breakfast. We all eat lunch at work and school. And my husband makes dinner. That's cute. I like that. Oh, God, I crave routine. That just hit me how much I crave routine. It's like 2 o'clock and I have no plans for lunch. It'd be nice to just plan lunch. We have a cleaner, but she's on holiday. So in the meantime, we're DIYing the cleaning where it's down to everyone to keep their space clean and common spaces we all clean. This is how we've always done it and it works. My in-laws hate that I'm one of those modern women. They hate that I work. They hate that I don't find my purpose in being a wife and mother. And they hate that my husband pulls his weight at home. Meaning like they hate that he cleans up after himself. You have a job though. We spoke pretty frankly early on where I established my boundaries and told them I won't be chastised about how I live my life in my home. When I'm a guest in their home, I accommodate their ways and play the daughter-in-law they wish I was. They have, for the most part, respected this. I got home yesterday after work tired and starving. I typically get home around 18:15, 18:30, so 6:15, 6:30, and we eat at 7 p.m. I said quick hellos and ran up for a pre-dinner shower. When I came down, I went to the kitchen to help set up for dinner and found nothing ready. I asked my husband about it, but he wouldn't look at me, and his mother answered that he hadn't cooked anything. She told me I needed to do my duty as a wife and cook for my family. My coward of a husband still wasn't looking at me. Yeah, that's what that is. That's what that is, man. It's your husband's got learned helplessness. He is used to listening to his mom and respecting his mom, and like she somehow weaseled her way into his mind, and right now he's absolutely being a coward. This is really pissing me off right now. I'm not gonna lie, I'm looking at this, I'm like, oh my God. I just walked away and ordered takeaway. I dished up for me and my kids, and we sat at the table to eat. My husband and his parents served themselves and joined us. Hold on, so this happened in front of your kids? This happened in front of your children. Your mother-in-law was talking to you like that in front of your kids. I'm going to keep reading. but I am sad. My husband and his parents served themselves and joined us. Does that mean you ordered takeaway for the husband and parents as well? Bruh, I would have just fed me and my kids. I don't know. Oh, y'all get what you want then, because you're acting ridiculous. This is ridiculous. I'm going to feed me and my kids. Otherwise, you have no say in how I live my life and how we have been doing, whatever. All right. My mother-in-law was still going on about what was wrong with me and why I was a failure. I asked my husband if he had anything to say. He said his mother had a point and it wouldn't hurt if I acted more like a proper woman and took better care of my home and children. He said tradition was tradition for a reason, and it was kind of insulting that I thought I was too good for how he was raised. This poor guy is brainwashed and he's fighting a battle between his mom and his wife. Oh, God. His wife is right. You're lucky enough to have a wife that works and makes breakfast for you. So if she's making breakfast, all of you are eating lunch, and then husband makes dinner. Yeah, even my girlfriend and I, if she cooks, I'm doing the dishes. It's one or the other. It's like, take care of each other. The balance is great, and it's a time to bond, and this is where I might be the a-hole. I told him tradition won't allow a man on $35,000 to support a family of 5, and he was too broke to be so sexist. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. This is absolutely within your realm of possibility. Should you say it in front of the kids? No. Or maybe you should, because I don't know. They started the fight in front of the kids. I would just be like, hey, Timmy, go on upstairs for a second. I got to talk to the grown-ups. And then I would fight right there. He makes $35K a year and he's expecting you to be a housewife and not work? Where do you live? What is this? That's what? To support a family of 5? This is insane. He looked hurt and I saw tears welling in his eyes. Good. You stupid man. That's how he was raised too. He's like psychologically torn. He excused himself from the table. I regret saying this in front of our children, but him saying that to me after I'm busting my ass to clean up his mess on top of having to deal with his parents was too much for me. AITA. No. This is where you got to fight for your boundary. You got to fight for your homestead. You're fighting for your ability to be the woman, the mother, and the wife that you are. It's just that these strangers, these people, your husband, your in-laws, are coming to your house and trying to change the dynamic of how you do everything. And they're they're trying to show their precious little son. They're like, you need a woman to dote on you. You need a woman to... Look, man, I get having a wife that loves you and cares for you and cares about you. If this woman loves and cares for her husband as much as he loves and cares for her, great. If there's an imbalance somewhere, address that. But this is like, you making $35K a year and you want a little trad wife? Bro, this is gross. What a weak man. What a like jiggly, he's like gelatin. He's like, you know what he is? He reminds me of, you open up a mustard bottle you haven't opened up in a while, and there's that little nugget of mustard you gotta take off before you get to the good stuff. He's that little scum on there you just throw away into the trash. Stupid. It sucks the kids were there for it, but he deserved worse. NTA. Should have ordered only enough for you and the kids. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I too was surprised that she ordered enough for the mother-in-law and husband. Said I wanted to order only for me and the kids, but I couldn't quite bring myself to do it. Yeah, I'd probably cower it out. I'd probably chicken out too. NTA, your husband was indeed a coward. He has been a willing participant in your marriage all along and has gamely contributed to the agreement you have that works for you both. It was incredibly hurtful of him to not uphold his decisions nor defend his wonderful partner of a wife to his parents. When the hit the fan, he failed to hold up, and that's really a sad realization for you. What you said might have been hurtful and cutting, but it was the truth and only came out because he said, also in front of your children, that you weren't a proper woman and didn't take adequate care of your home and children. That's huge. That is a huge thing. You don't insult your wife in front of the kids and the grandparents and let your mom... No! This is a theme of today. Protect your family from your family. Frankly, he needed to hear it. How can he think you should be more or better with all that you're already doing? Does he think it's a really valid option for you to just drop your working career to be a homemaker? And how does he think that's going to go for you and your family? It is absurdly impractical and makes him look like an imbecile to think it has merit. Hate to fall into old Reddit tropes, but it's got to be therapy or divorce time. No, definitely do the therapy route because it sounds like he's 85% bought in and working to be a better person. But that 15% reared its head when his parents came around, which might mean you need some firm boundaries against his parents. Yeah, you think so? It's sickening that they abuse their influence on him and use their time with him alone to turn him against you. If it were me, they would not be welcome in my home ever again, and I'd seriously consider limiting their access to the grandkids as well because they're poisonous against you. I feel like there's a culture thing here. Or grandpa is loaded. Maybe grandpa is just freaking loaded, dude. There's a chance. You picking up what I'm putting down? You sniffing the cheese that I'm shredding on this plate? I agree with all of this, and I'd ban his parents from the family home as well. That is so hard. That's hard to do. I think the first thing you got to do, personally, is you got to talk to that husband, and you got to be like, are you out of your mind? Are you out of your mind's not a good place to come from. I think you just got to have a real conversation. Be like, I thought we agreed on this. Walk him down a logical line of thought. Forget what I'm saying. Forget what your mom is saying. How do you actually feel? Do you feel like it is unfair for both of us to work? Do you really feel like I should make breakfast, we cover lunch at work and school, and you should make dinner? Do you feel like that's the truth? Or do you feel like we should do it to where I make breakfast, we both go to work and school, where chances are the wife might make as much or more than the husband, and then the wife comes home and takes care of everything? Because then you're just being lazy. You ain't no hunter-gatherer, bro. You ain't hunting, you ain't gathering on $35K a year. And that's nothing against people who make $35K a year. That's like teacher salary. That's like a respectable job's salary in this economy. But to take that and be a dick about it when what you're asking for requires you to make a lot more money? Personally, I don't care if my wife is a stay-at-home mom or a superstar. But dude, just I think before you choose to pick your battle, review your arsenal. Take a look at your artillery. Another way of saying that is look at the glass house you live in before you throw a stone. Because if you throw that stone, you're going to get cut, dude. And this guy, cowardly as he is also dumb. He's also just a little dumb. AITA for spending my son's university fun trip on a trip to Europe to drink beer like I always threatened, instead of giving it to his stepbrother after he passed away. My son was smart. Smarter than me. I almost requested a paternity test because he's so damn intelligent. This is a joke! My ex and I divorced when he was about 12. She remarried when he was 14. I did when he was 16. I had an RESP set up for him. That's an education fund in Canada. As long as he went for post-secondary education, he could use the money for anything. I always told him that I was okay with him not going to university. That way I could use the money I had saved up for him to go to Belgium and buy some beer from monks that only allow you to buy one case. He knew I was joking and he always played along. He wouldn't let me get his goat. When he got accepted to McGill, it was the proudest moment of my life. I took him out for a beer to celebrate his achievement and mourn the loss of my trip to Europe. That's funny. It's an inside joke with your son. My son was struck and killed by a drunk driver in March. I'm dealing with it. My ex is dealing with it. My wife has been nothing but my rock in this. She is holding me up. Terrible loss. God. Folks, don't drink and drive. Uber. We have Uber. There's so many other things you could do. I was dealing with the funeral arrangements and everything when my ex came to talk to me about his money. She knew he had a scholarship and was just going to use the money for living expenses and an emergency fund. She asked me what I was going to do with it. So does that mean it was split into two people? I said I was going to do what I always said I would. I was going to Europe to drink beer. She asked if she could have it for her stepson. I thought about it and said no. Her husband is a decent enough person, but he made it clear that he wasn't responsible for any expenses for my son. So meaning the ex-wife's husband wasn't responsible for any expenses for my son. Meaning like college, meaning what? I'm trying to understand what that means. Beyond food and shelter and stuff, obviously. Like I said, he's decent. So meaning like, because that man wasn't taking care of your kid, you don't feel the obligation to take care of his kid? Is that kind of what you're telling me right now? That's what I think. I said I was not going to do that. I was going to go drink beer in my son's honor. She says I'm wasting thousands of dollars, and I guess I am. I have to give back the government portion of the fund, but I don't care. My ex thinks I'm being stupid and irresponsible wasting my son's money like this. I don't care. My son would laugh his ass off if he knew I actually did it. Yeah. This is how you honor your kid, dude. You're doing something to honor your kid. This is your version of a funeral just for you and your son. I think that's totally it. I think you're fine. The thing is, if the money was going to go to the stepson, like your wife's kid with another man, no, I think I just wanted kind of a freebie. That's what I think. That's you. That's your fund. You set it up, didn't you? You had this inside joke. Now, if she contributed more money than you did to that fund, or if she contributed, I don't know. I don't know how this works. I really don't. But if she had a lion's share of that money, I'd be of a slightly different opinion, I guess. I would be like, okay, what's a good middle ground or something? But I don't know. This is your half of it. She already got a portion of it, and none of this is going to bring the child back, dude. It's not going to bring this kid back, and that sucks. There's no right answer. You're grieving your own way. She's trying to be functional towards her family life about it. I don't think she's a jerk for asking you, but if they start targeting you and saying that you're a jerk for doing this with the money, then they're being silly. But no, I think you have every right to go honor your kid with the inside joke, because that's going to bring you peace and closure a little bit and clarity, and that's something you should do. You should totally do that. NTA, I'm sorry for your loss. I thought it was a clickbait title, but this is a sad post. I hope you enjoy your trip and pour out some for your homie. Sounds like you guys had a good relationship. From someone who lost her 15-year-old sister to a car accident, this really tore me up way more than I thought it would. She was killed a month after her 15th birthday and had just been accepted to a private high school with a full-ride scholarship she'd been trying for. The acceptance letter sat on her vanity in her room for years after. You are NTA, if anything, far from it. The ex-wife even asking is a huge one. Please go to Europe and celebrate his life. It's the only thing that should be done with that money. If you have a Venmo, Cash App, etc., I would also love to buy you a beer. I'm truly sorry for your loss. Thanks for the offer. I'm going to update when I'm there. I would appreciate it if you had one with me instead. My condolences. Your ex can ask for the money, but she cannot expect you to say yes. That's right. Even the thing of her asking at all might pull people in half. They might be like, she shouldn't even ask. But ultimately, it is your decision, and how she reacts to that is not your problem, I don't think. Hey, Op, you're NTA, and I'm very sorry for your loss. I have some good news, though. RESPs can only be transferred between siblings. Assuming that your son was not adopted by your ex's new husband, that means your son was not related to your ex's stepson in a way that would permit the transfer. So it's not even possible. This person came to say the same thing. It isn't transferable to step siblings, so the entire argument is pointless drama. Oh, well, there we have it. AITA for telling my parents I didn't have a kid. They did, and they need to take care of her, not me. That sends twist my brain in a knot. But let's see. My parents had me 15. You're 15? You're a 15-year-old posting on here? I didn't even know that was allowed. So we're reading something from a 15-year-old. 15-year-old girl. Okay? Strap in. My parents had me, a 15-year-old girl, when they were 18 and 19, which is very young. They always made it so obvious they resented being parents so young, and added to that, they never tried to be good parents. I typically spend most of my time at my friends' houses. I don't have extended family to rely on. They disowned my parents for having me so young, so my friends' houses were a positive in my life that made me feel more comfortable than being at home with my parents. That is very sad, okay? And also, your extended family abandoning your mom and dad for having you so young is crazy, because they're putting you in harm's way like that. That's so bad. What bozos. My parents never did the typical parent stuff like helping with homework or showing up to support me at school. I don't think they ever attended a parents' conference for me. They ignored a lot of stuff I needed to get signed, and I'd have to get right in their face on the last day to get signatures. My birthday and Christmas have never been a big deal or celebration. They do celebrate their wedding anniversary, but that's a them thing. Very, very selfish parents. It seems very selfish. You're pretty well spoken for a 15-year-old girl, though. I mean, you're writing pretty well. So good for you. When they told me 2 years ago they were expecting a baby, it really surprised me, but then it hurt because sometimes they said stuff that made me feel like I didn't exist. Oh! This hurts my feelings. My feelings. Like how they were so excited to have a baby and how they couldn't wait to be parents. What do you mean? A friend of my mom's did remind her of me, but then she and dad said I was basically the too early practice run, and this was the real deal. When my sister was born, they were so attentive to her that I ceased to exist completely. I got sick, and my school was trying to call someone to pick me up early, but they ignored the calls, and when I got home, they had taken the baby out for a family day. Dude, is this a CPS situation? I'm actually curious. I don't know. I mean, because you're 15 still. You are still a kid, dude. When they got home, they hadn't even realized the school called because they turned their phones off to enjoy family time. My mom quit her job a month after my sister was born. She wants to be a stay-at-home mom, and she and dad want at least one more kid. I really hope dad makes good money. As we talked about earlier, we all here, everybody here in this room hopes that Papa's making good cashola. Everybody inside. My dad leaves work early on Fridays so we can spend more time with the family. My mom and my sister, not freaking me, dude. My parents tried to have another kid for over a year, and mom isn't pregnant yet, so they're jumping to fertility treatments. Oh my God, so they're really trying to make a big old family. This is my thinking right now. After this, get out of here. Make it to 18. Understand that this is a bad situation, and talk to people about it, talk to counselors at school about it privately, like see if you can get some resources together. I'm really curious what these Redditors are going to say, but I don't know. The fact that they're not even able to pick you up when you're sick is sad. They told me I need to watch my sister for a few hours every week while they attend those appointments, and they gave me this detailed list of stuff she needs and what I'm going to do with her. I told them I won't and that they had her, so they need to take care of her because she's not my kid. My parents told me it's a few hours a week and not a huge deal. Dad told me I need to look at it as paying back all they did for me. I said no and told them they don't give a crap about me, so why would I want to help them? Okay, so you are the oldest sibling, in particular, the oldest daughter. And this is an extreme version of what I assume a lot of oldest siblings feel. They feel like they have to help take care of the younger brother, younger sister. That just happens, you know. You're in a much bigger age gap, though. It's not like you're 8 and your sister is 5 or 4. It's like you're 15 and they are 0. Big gap. If you live under your parents' roof, there could be an expectation, as long as they're providing for you and you're their kid, you kind of got to follow the lead and you got to take care of this kid, you know, babysit. You babysit. A lot of parents forever have their oldest help take care of the youngest. It's just a thing. But because they've been so embarrassingly neglectful towards you, and the fact that the mom quit her job to be a stay-at-home mom and it doesn't want to stay home, well, I guess to get more fertility treatments. I think you have a lot of pain. You're 15. You have a lot of pain. There's a lot of like resentment you have towards your folks, which is totally makes sense. It should not be your responsibility to parent this kid, but depending on your situation, there's a lot of information I don't have here. Depending on your situation, the oldest sibling a lot of times takes care of the youngest. You're still a kid. And they're forgetting that. And they're trying to, after having raised you somewhat poorly, they are looking to recruit you to help them raise better their new baby. Do what you can to make it to 18 and get out. Not the asshole neglecting to pick you up when you are sick and calling your life a practice run. Yeah, I can't believe I skipped over that. It's such a horrible thing to get from your parents, and I'm sorry that they have neglected you. It is, but I'm used to it. They were showing all that without words for years, though the practice run part is funny to me because what practice did they get? I can't say they ever really did much or any parenting, so it's just like, what are they talking about? They didn't make the most of their practice run for people who see me that way. Tell them you'll do it if they can name your favorite food, your favorite color, and your best friend. When they can't, tell them you'll be giving their baby exactly as much attention as they have given to you over the years. Give them that wake-up call. They clearly need it. NTA. Are you allowed to just disobey your parents like that? Is that allowed? It doesn't even occur to me that you can just say no and hold tight against your parents like that. NTA, they clearly just see you as a babysitter, and it sounds like they couldn't even do the bare minimum for you when you were growing up. Yeah, of course. That's exactly how it was. I'm honestly surprised they didn't put me in foster care at some point, but then they'd have to pay. I'll never get them choosing to keep me for this. Putting me up for adoption would have been kinder. Oh my God, dude. Tell them you are paying them back in the same coin. You are ignoring and refusing to parent their child as they ignored and refused to parent you. Simple as that. You know what though, guys? You know what? It is not as simple as that, because this is where she lives. And these are the people who feed her. These are the people who who are the ones who drive her to places where and when she wants to go. And these are the people who, you know, she could be putting herself in a more dangerous situation if she doesn't flip into survival mode and survive until 18 and just kind of help out and just put on a fake smile and go about your business. You could be putting yourself at risk unless you are choosing to go to CPS and, you know, express your concerns with counselors. I think you need to get counseling. You need to talk to a teacher. There are mandated reporters by the state. If you truly feel like you are in danger or aren't being taken care of adequately as a child, I think you got to go to another grown-up and talk to them about it. You should be able to have a life, go to after-school freaking karate or pottery class or whatever it is you're into. You know, go see a movie with your friends, go to the mall instead of taking care of a freaking baby. While that should not fall on you, you know, until you get a car or until you have your own living situation, it's tough because we can all on Reddit say like, you should tell them this. Yeah, but you got to live with them tomorrow and the next day and the next day after you said those things. And they got to live with you in terms of they're going to paint you as the villain. right? These people aren't thinking straight. I think you survive until you're 18. It's easier said than done to be like, you know what? Clap back at the parents. Tell them no. These are the people who sign permission slips. They're the people who need to take you to get your driver's license. These are the people, sometimes you gotta dance with the devil, dude, just to get by. This is a tightrope of a situation. Not the asshole. Start planning your escape now. Also, tell your teachers or guidance counselor about your home life. Yeah. Tell your parents flat out that you will abandon your younger sibling and then call the police if they try to force you to babysit. What do you mean call the police? Is that a thing? Can you do that? I don't know. And for some of you watching this right now who grew up with a similar life like this one, I'm sorry that I don't know. I don't know the law. I don't know the law about this kind of stuff. I'm so mind blown right now. Kid, they are neglecting you and making your life a living hell. What motivation could you possibly have to watch their child? Instead, focus on getting certified in a trade or getting into college and getting out of there when you turn 18. Yeah, they already know. The fact my parents never showed anything has told them a lot, meaning your guidance counselors and teachers and stuff, and they check in a few times a year with me. That's good. NTA, and if they leave, call the cops on them for abandonment. Oh, interesting. I don't think they'd risk it because it's her. They're taking this parenting thing way more seriously now for her and for the next one, I guess. NTA, you didn't ask to be born. They could have given you up for adoption, as it seems your grandparents didn't care. You owe them nothing except respect, as in behave yourself. You are not your sister's keeper. Let mom and dad deal with it. I wish that there was someone you could turn to and get out, study hard, get a good job, go to a trade school, college, or the military when you are old enough. I wish you the best of luck. And that is true. You're not your sister's keeper. I know, but I don't know the situation. I don't know. Moral of the story, though, this person says the fact that they called you their trial run was honestly disgusting. Yeah, that's horrible. But what I will say is that you seem like a very well-spoken, wonderful, smart individual. 15. Next year, you'll have your driver's license. You're going to feel so much more freedom. And hopefully, your mom means what she says about being a stay-at-home mom. And she's able to stay at home and take care of the new kids while you get to drive somewhere and do what you want to do. Wouldn't that be nice? If you're a kid, you should just be a kid. Because if you don't have that childhood, you grew up too early. Later in life, you just kind of I don't know, man. Play Fortnite. Yeah, I think this is pretty much like a legal. I think this is a legal thing. Whatever you're legally able to do, I think kind of strap yourself with knowledge. I think that's the only thing you can do really is prepare yourself with knowledge. Because I don't know those things. Just to heal this child a little bit more, I'm gonna peer into the future. This girl's name is Bethany. Bethany will go to Harvard Extension School online. She will work at Denny's from ages 16 till 19, and then she gets her degree. She gets her college degree in computer science and technology. She moves out to San Francisco. In San Francisco, this little girl, she finds a black turtleneck. She finds a lonely black turtleneck on the sidewalk. She picks it up. She puts it over her body. She immediately becomes a billionaire tech mogul. And then she runs the world. It is a social media app that is really cool. It's a super cool social media app that she creates in this black turtleneck. And who wants access to this social media app? You guessed it. Her parents. And will she access to the social media app? I don't think so. I don't think so at all. She says, nay, you have no access to this social media app that I created after I worked at a Denny's and graduated from Harvard Extension School on the sidewalk when I found a turtleneck in San Francisco. You are not allowed on my social media app called... Why? Because it's just one letter better than X. Am I right? I think it's time for an outro.